Hi, my name is Denise Reyes, and I'm running for West Bridgewater Selectmen. The special reason is the people of West Bridgewater. There was a time, started in 2016, when I felt there was a need, that you needed a voice. It was the Great West Bridgewater water debacle that started in sometime in 2016. I recognized the price increase that occurred, but paid our bill, threw it away, and didn't think any more of it. But then started hearing from residents in town and reading on Facebook that others weren't so happy and didn't feel they were getting the answers they deserved. I sat down and talked with my husband about it and said, I really think these people need help, and I know it's going to take a lot of time. This could be months. It could possibly be a year. And he knows once I jump into something, I'm all in. We discussed it. He agreed, go to it. So I did. It started with investigating the water bills, what caused the water hike, why it happened, how it happened, talking with various residents in town who were quite trusting. And many of the residents were sending me their water bills so that I could look at them, look for spikes, and talking with the water department, requesting public records, and attending all of their meetings for about a year and a half. I spent countless hours doing research. I went so far as to join other Facebook sites in other towns and cities where they were experiencing water hikes similar to ours. It was the collective effort of the residents and our research that got to the root cause of the problem. The biggest problem were folks that had their meters replaced and then received what was called the catch-up bill. The catch-up bill included the new rate hike, but you were being charged for the old water. So what happened was you were overcharged. Instead of that water you had used prior to the meter being replaced, being charged at the old rate, it was charged at the new rate. Subsequently, many of the residents received abatements, some a few $100s, some in the thousands of dollars. And I was just glad to help. That's all it was about, was helping the residents. Additionally, we discovered the rate hike was not substantiated. The water department was looking to cover their costs plus the water usage, but the hike was just more than it needed to be. They had a consultant come in, and the consultant's forecasts pretty much proved our point, and we ended up with a huge water surplus, even though we did eventually reduce the rates. It was good for the town, it was good for the people, and I was just glad to help. At this time, I'm researching our real estate taxes and our personal property taxes. Well, I think the reason I'll be a good fit is mostly due to my life experiences, both good and bad. My personal life, my family when I was young was fairly affluent, and we went from that to nearly bankrupt. At a young age, I'll tell the town some of my secrets now. At a young age, I was married with two children and barely an 11th grade education. And no doubt, soon to be divorced. So armed with my GED, I found my first real job and started working in an office that was related to manufacturing. It was there I found and married the love of my life, my second husband, and we had our daughter. My husband and I sat down one night and discussed our future and realized that we had to make some changes for our family future and our financial future. So we decided he would work nights, I'd continue to work days and go to school at nights. Again, I only had a GED, but I was able to enroll at Stonehill College in Easton. It took several years, but I ended up graduating from Stonehill College in Easton. I have a bachelor's degree with a major in accounting. I've worked for the same company for 36 years. And my company is phenomenal. They value their employees. They treat us very well. and they recognize dedication. As I said, I've been there for 36 years. My first job was affiliated with manufacturing, and my current position is Senior Credit Manager. I've also received certifications through the NACM, which is National Association of Credit Management. I received a certification as a certified credit executive through a program at Dartmouth College in New Hampshire. Currently, I serve on a credit board, and I have held past positions with other credit organizations throughout the country. I also served for several years on our town's finance committee. I feel that my life taught me the value of a dollar. My children taught me patience. And my company taught me that success is gained through prompt and wise decisions. And it was the people of the town, of this town, that gave me the courage to run for selectman. I think the first of the three greatest priorities are school safety. It's on everyone's minds right now. However, I feel it's left best in the hands of our law enforcement, our school committee, and our school staff. They are the professionals at this. I don't believe as a selectman there's much I can do other than rely on their experience, their knowledge, their recommendations, and support what they suggest we do. I can't do any better than our chief of police and our superintendent. Like I said, they are truly the professionals. As a selectman, I would seek their guidance. I would support their decisions. I spoke with our chief of police about 2 weeks ago, and it was nearly a 2-hour conversation, not intended to be about school safety. It was a variety of issues, and in my mind, he's no dummy. He loves his job, he loves this town, and I believe we can rely on him 100%. The second most important issue I think we need to address is our taxes. I think we have more people in this town living paycheck to paycheck than we'd like to admit. And going through the whole issue with our water bills made that very evident to me. A matter of a sudden $2,000 water bill, and then that being reduced, but told still your water bill is going to be $300 or $400 more a year, was concerning, especially to our seniors and our young families. I'm fortunate. I have a good job, nice home, but even I am concerned whether or not we'll be able to retire in West Bridgewater. Our taxes are expensive, and it's something we'll have to think long and hard about. Our retirement is still a few years away, but again, affordability is key. I think as a town we need to become more efficient, spend our revenue wisely on what is needed, and carefully consider what's nice to have so that we're not sacrificing what we really need. And by looking for efficiencies, I mean looking at the ways we are doing things and questioning if that's the way it needs to be done. Are there alternatives? If it's an outdated law or a requirement, maybe there is a better way to do it. And if it is a statutory requirement, then maybe we should be seeking help with changing the statute. One of the things I found in my research was that in the assessor's office, we take our electronic files of valuation records. These are just printed by computer papers that show what our real estate, our personal properties has been taxed at and the valuation of them. So we take this electronic record, we print it, we send it out to be bound into a book, and then we store the book. These books age, and many of the older books we have need to be restored. They need to be preserved. The papers become brittle, the bindings have broken. The cost of it is $52,000 for this project we have going right now, and that will take us to the year 1930. So as we continue this practice, these same books that we're producing now are going to age and need to be restored as well. it seemed to make more sense, since we were already creating that electronic file, just to save it. It makes it easier on the staff to look up records. There's no additional cost. And at the same time, while we are preserving these books, pay the extra $185, I think it is, for every 10 years, and have them stored on electronic files, so that at some point in the future, the storing of paper records goes away, we will still have these electronic records. And these are the types of things I think we need to start looking at, just efficiencies in our processes and questioning why things are done the way they're done. And if it needs reaching out to our senator and asking him to help us look to change statutes that will make it easier for municipalities to save the taxpayers a few dollars, I think it's well worth it. Small towns like ours just can't handle the expenses that larger towns and cities can. And at the same time, I'm not sure we get our fair share of state funding. I think our third most important issue is our town infrastructure, and that includes sidewalks. I know many of the sidewalks need to be repaired, and I'd like to see that equally as important as taxes. On one hand, we're looking at saving money, and on the other hand, we're looking at spending money. But there are grants that are available and need to be researched. I think Chris Iannatelli has done a great job with introducing us to a program called Complete Streets, and that provides state funds for sidewalks, crosswalks, signal lights, and such. I don't know if we'll qualify, but that's certainly a start. And then we need to start looking at some of that money I was talking about that we might want to use for nice things, and instead use it for the things we need if we don't qualify for the grants, or we only qualify for partial grants. I think our boards and commissions are lacking the assistance they need in negotiating and creating contracts. We recently had a situation where a wage contract positioned us to possibly spend $70,000 between the lawsuit as well as the employee wages. That litigation is pending in appeals court, but regardless, we're still looking at spending approximately $40,000 for our legal fees, and that's not covered by insurance. Now, I'm not blaming the boards or commissions for the contracts that were created. I think we just need to get them the professional assistance they need when they do create these contracts, because whenever you create a contract, one side is looking at, this is how I read it, and another side might be looking at, this is how I read it. But at the end of the day, it almost doesn't matter. It's going to be what how the judge reads it. So we need to make sure when we create these contracts that we've considered all different sides. And again, I am not blaming the boards or commissions. I'm just saying they need some help. And I believe we have professionals at Town Hall that are able and more than willing to help them get the job done. I hope I've earned your vote. I'd like to win this, but the way I'm looking at it is win or lose. I'm still going to help everyone in this town as much as I can with whatever concerns they have. Most folks probably know I'm available on Facebook. I'm a frequent visitor to the hub. I also have a webpage available, Denise Reyes for Selectmen. I appreciate your time and would appreciate your vote. Thank you.